Have you ever paused and truly listened to the voice inside your head? That relentless chatter that judges, predicts, and critiques every move you make. What if I told you that voice isn't you? And the moment you stop identifying with it, your entire reality shifts. Stay with me as we uncover the secret to stepping out of this mental cage and into a life of profound peace and freedom. The voice in your head seems inseparable from who you are, doesn't it? It narrates your life from the moment you wake up, replaying past regrets, creating fears about the future, and critiquing every decision you make. But here's the truth. That voice isn't the real you. It's like a shadow, a phantom self, built on fears, doubts, and judgments. And this shadow has been living rent-free in your mind, holding you captive in an endless loop of overthinking. Imagine it. You wake up to a new day, but before you've even brushed your teeth, the voice is already setting the tone. It whispers, "Remember that mistake from yesterday?" Or, "What if today goes wrong?" It's exhausting, isn't it? This incessant inner dialogue not only disrupts your peace, but also distorts your reality. It's like throwing pebbles into a calm, clear lake, creating ripples that block your ability to reflect the beauty of life around you. Over time, these ripples build layers, turning the clarity of your mind into a constant haze. We've been conditioned to believe that our thoughts define us. Self-help books and motivational speakers often preach, change your thoughts, change your life. But what if the problem isn't the content of your thoughts, but the fact that you're talking to yourself at all? The constant narration, judgment, and analysis create a mental cage, a cage not of iron, but of words. This cage feeds on fears, comparisons, and complaints. It keeps you stuck, unable to experience joy or clarity because your mind is too full of its own noise. Imagine holding a glass of muddy water. The more you shake it, the cloudier it becomes. But if you set the glass down and let it be, the mud settles and the water becomes clear. This is what happens when you stop feeding the inner voice. Now consider the weight this cage places on you, always whispering that you're not enough, that you need to fix something or prove your worth. The more you believe these whispers, the heavier the cage becomes. The voice tricks you into thinking it's protecting you, but in reality, it's holding you back from living fully. So, if you're not the voice in your head, who are you? Here's the secret. You are the observer, the quiet presence that hears the voice. In the space between your thoughts, there is something remarkable, a stillness, a presence deeper than words, and infinitely more stable than your mental chatter. This presence has been described in various spiritual traditions. In Hindu philosophy, it's the Atman, the eternal self beyond all material turbulence. In Christianity, it's the still small voice of God. Taoism calls it the Tao, the effortless way that flows naturally. Whatever you name it, this presence is the real you, unchanging, peaceful, and whole. When you realize this, something profound happens. You begin to see the voice for what it is, a condition pattern, not a reflection of who you are. In this realization, the bars of your mental cage start to dissolve. You glimpse freedom for the first time, and that glimpse is life-changing. When you identify with the voice in your head, even small irritations become unbearable. Sitting in traffic becomes a story of disrespect or wasted time. Social media becomes a source of comparison, fueling jealousy and inadequacy. But these stories are not reality. They are projections, shadows on the wall of Plato's cave. The moment you stop talking to yourself, even for an instant, the shift begins. You taste freedom and step out of the cage of endless chatter. This doesn't mean silencing your mind by force. Fighting the voice only makes it louder. Instead, it's about observing the voice without attaching to it. When you let go of the inner dialogue, you start to hear the silence beneath it, a silence that isn't empty but full of peace. This silence isn't just the absence of noise. It's a space where creativity, clarity, and joy can flourish. Imagine a cluttered room being emptied out. Suddenly, There's room to breathe, to move, to create. This is what happens when you stop identifying with your thoughts. One way to connect with this silence is through gratitude. Not the surface-level gratitude of "I should be thankful for this," but the heartfelt realization of the miracles around you. The air in your lungs, the warmth of the sun, the sound of a bird singing. These moments pull you into the present, quieting the voice in your head. Compassion is another path. Start with yourself. When the voice in your head criticizes or judges, respond with kindness. Imagine comforting a frightened child. Would you scold them for their fear, or would you hold them gently and tell them it's okay? This same gentleness disarms your inner voice and reveals your true self as deserving of love. As you cultivate compassion, you'll find it extending to others. Suddenly, the people around you are no longer competitors or obstacles. They're fellow travelers on the same journey. This shift transforms your relationships, deepening your connections and filling them with warmth and understanding. As you practice observing the voice, something extraordinary happens. The fear it creates begins to dissolve. Fear needs the voice to survive, but when you rest in the silence beneath it, you discover a deeper trust. You stop clinging to control and instead flow with life, like a bird trusting its wings, rather than the strength of the branch it perches on. This trust is the essence of surrender. It's not about giving up. It's about giving into the flow of life and recognizing that you are more than the stories in your mind. Challenges will still arise, but now you have a choice. Listen to the voice or return to the stillness within. As you live in this stillness, life begins to take on a new quality. Colors seem brighter, moments more vivid, and even ordinary tasks carry a sense of peace. The shift doesn't remove life's challenges, but it changes how you experience them. You face them with clarity and strength, rooted in a deeper awareness. The shift is not a single moment. It's a process. Each time you notice the voice and choose not to engage, you strengthen your connection to the silence. Over time, life feels lighter. Situations that once triggered you lose their grip. You laugh more, breathe more deeply, and find joy in the simplest moments. This doesn't mean life becomes perfect. The voice will still try to pull you back, but now you see it for what it is, a shadow, not your true self. And with this realization, fear, doubt, and suffering begin to fall away, replaced by a quiet joy and a sense of ease. This process reveals the ultimate gift of the shift, freedom. Not freedom from life's challenges, but freedom within them. The voice loses its power, and you become the master of your experience. This is the essence of living fully, awake and aware. So what lies beyond the voice in your head? A profound stillness, a vast open field of awareness where you can reconnect with the truth of who you are. This is the heart of the shift, not something you achieve, but something you remember and embody. Now let me ask you, what would your life look like if you stopped identifying with that inner voice? What possibilities might open up if you embrace the stillness within? Reflect on this, and when you're ready, explore more on this journey with another video from our channel. Click now to discover the next step in your transformation.